So my first exposure on 4x5 was pretty nerve-wracking. It was a lot of firsts for me. It was the first time I'd ever opened a box of 4x5 film or even held one. I didn't have the muscle memory built up, so there was all kinds of things that were stacked up against me. So the first frame was very overexposed. This is the frame, the actual negative. You can see just how overexposed it is. And yeah, so it's pretty bad. When I put it on the scanner, it scans okay. Overexposure with film is a lot easier to recover some detail as opposed to an underexposed image where there's just no data recorded. I went too quickly, too soon, just from excitement. Didn't give myself enough time to learn the mechanics of taking film out of the box, putting it into a holder, putting the holder in the camera, you know, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of firsts. And then from there, I took the photo with a Red 25 filter, which was a mistake on my first frame. It was like, now I'm adding in filter factors and things that were just confusing to me. Even using the Reciprocity timer app, I couldn't get it. My first exposure was 11 seconds and it was broad daylight, and I was like, something doesn't seem quite right about this. And yeah, it didn't turn out well. I got a little bit stomped, and it was a little bit of a letdown to myself, but it was a good learning experience for me, knowing that, okay, this style of photography is about patience. It's about waiting until things are right. And at this point, my skills are not right. They're not quite up to the bar, so I've got some work to do. So moving on, my second frame that I shot was a little bit better in the sense that I had an actual image that was well exposed. Everything looked pretty good, other than the fact that I had these really distinct light leaks on the notched end of the film. But then I noticed something that you'll see here on the image, that there's all these speckles. There's all these sort of like not quite dirt, but not quite not dirt. I was freaking out. Was there dirt under the glass in my scanner? Like, what the heck was going on? Couldn't figure it out, was racking my brain. Turns out, as you'll see in this shot, can you figure out what I'm doing wrong here? Yeah, I'm shooting through a freaking dirty glass door because I didn't want to take the camera outside and overwhelm myself. So I just shot it through my glass door. So what you're actually seeing on the film is all of these out of focus little speckled pieces of dirt and grime on the glass of my door. So it's not the lens, it's not the scanner, it's just crappy photography. So embarrassing. I'm so caught up in the macro detail of figuring out this process that I'm completely oblivious to the huge glaring mistakes that I'm making. So this has been like a really educational process, and I'm excited, but you know, nobody likes to mess up, nobody likes to fail, so it hurts a little bit, but this is a part of the learning process. This is what makes us better at what we do. I mean, you have to screw up sometimes to really get it deep down into you that I'm not going to make that mistake again. I know I'm not going to make that mistake again. So, but never say never. I've also learned that. So I'm going to try really hard not to shoot through dirty glass doors anymore. So this is all completely brand new for me. It's all completely hard and scary at this point. It's exciting, and I'm optimistic, and I will continue to move forward with this, but I am in a part now where I'm like, trying to do a lot, and every aspect of this process has been one in which could take quite a substantial amount of time to figure out a perfected process, but my perfected process, or what I would consider to be my perfected process. You fail fast and fail often, and I do quite a bit, but it helps me to figure out where I'm going and how I want to do things. So as long as I'm accounting for that failure, I don't mind it. Maybe I could think of a sexier word for it, like research, but I just end up screwing up a lot, so we'll just call it what it is. If you guys have any comments, or if you see things along the way that you think could be useful for me, or information that could be helpful, I'm not offended. I take criticism really well, as long as it's presented in a friendly tone. Constructive criticism is always welcome. And on that note, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed to the channel, and thank you so much for the encouraging comments and just nice things that you guys have been saying about the videos. I feel like it lets me know that I'm doing a good job at this, but it's nice to hear personally as well. So I appreciate it. Share it with anybody that you think might be interested. I know this is really specific kind of information, and I'm happy to keep this a small group with you guys, but we'll just let it grow as it grows. So thank you guys so much again, and we'll see you in the next one.